Humans eat food because they need it. They need energy in the form of calories when that food is broken down, and they also need the nutrients, which are the components of the food when it's broken down. Health issues in humans arise from food, either from having too little, not the right, or too much. So malnutrition is when there's enough energy but not the right nutrients, usually from eating the wrong types of food, in comparison to undernourishment, which is not having enough food, not enough energy, and not enough nutrients from the lack of food. These are not typically issues in first world or developed countries, but usually in undeveloped or third world countries where there's not enough food or not the right type of nutritious food. The problem we have in developed countries is obesity. 66% of Americans are overweight, and these are adults. And of those 66%, 50% are in the obese range. And obesity is projected to become the #1 cause of death over smoking. So whereas malnutrition and undernourishment stem from not having enough food, obesity is caused by a variety of reasons, including eating too much food, or eating the wrong foods, or a lack of physical activity, and also genetics. The variety of reasons ultimately lead to too much energy from food, and when there's excess energy, the body stores it as fat, which is the cause for adult Americans being overweight and obese. One factor in this is eating the wrong foods, such as processed foods like pizza or soda. A processed food is any food that has been altered from its natural state. So instead of a potato, French fries, or instead of corn, popcorn, or even some things that are seemingly healthy, like orange juice instead of an orange, or applesauce instead of an apple. These foods are all altered from their natural state, which is basically how this would have been picked off the farm. It is pretty difficult to eat non-processed foods. Most of the foods we eat are processed, and because of that, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has the nutrition facts label that's required on all processed foods, so citizens can know exactly what is in the food that they're eating. So the total amount of calories in that food are a requirement, and that's usually going to be the largest number. There's also going to be smaller values which allow for calculating the total calories from the total amount of fats in grams, which is the mass, the total amount of carbohydrates, also in grams, which is the mass, and the total amount of protein, also in grams, the mass of the protein. There are other nutrients on the nutritional facts label that's below this line at the bottom. These are the micronutrients, but the fat, carbohydrate, and protein, these are the macronutrients that make up the majority of the energy and the nutrients that we get from food. So the food we eat provides macronutrients from the fat, carbohydrate, and protein, and that's broken down into nutritional calories are uppercase C calories, which are 1,000 of the lowercase c chemistry calories. So fat provides 9 nutritional calories per gram, and carbohydrate and protein are each 4 nutritional calories per gram. These calories from fat, carbohydrate, and protein come from breaking the bonds in those molecules of fat, carbohydrate, and protein. So from taking the masses of fat, carbohydrate, and protein, you can determine how many calories come from fat, how many calories come from carbohydrate, and how many calories come from protein, and add it all up for the total calories. So these calculations prove to us that it doesn't matter where the calories in the total come from. They can come from fat, carbohydrate, or protein. They're all equivalent. The calories come from breaking the bonds in the fat molecules, or in the carbohydrate molecules, or breaking the bonds in the proteins. Fat provides more than double the amount of calories per gram because fat has more energy in the bonds of those molecules. So it's why when a human body has excess energy, it's stored as fat, because you can just pack in a lot more energy in calories into a fat molecule than into a carbohydrate or protein molecule.